Hello everyone and welcome to the Student Spotlight, your go-to podcast for meaningful conversation and deep insights on life of students studying abroad. I'm Parin Shah and I'm excited to embark on this journey with you. We'll delve into the conversations that's sure to leave you thinking. Hi guys, so today we have an interesting conversation with Ojas, who was born in West Bengal but did his schooling from Bangalore, Delhi, Dubai, Malaysia and later in Egypt. He's currently doing his undergraduate degree in Automotive Engineering from Loughborough University, and he chose Loughborough over other top universities after a thorough research. Let's find out why Loughborough and know more about his experience at Loughborough.
So my schooling started in Bangalore, where I went to school until first grade, and then I moved to Delhi for 3 years. And then I moved to Dubai, then Malaysia, then Egypt.
Wow.
Where I've ended up doing GCSEs and then IB before I came here for the course.
Okay, so did you do your GCSEs up until 10th?
Yeah.
Okay, and where did you do your GCSEs?
So GCSEs and IB I did in the school in Egypt.
Okay, and how were your scores?
So for GCSEs I got 2 level 9s, 6 level 8s and 2 level 7s.
Okay.
And then for IB I got 37 points.
37 points. What were your main power subjects in IB?
So it would have been economics, physics and chemistry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. So when did you decide to do automotive engineering and why?
So towards the end of year 11 and end of year 12 and start of year 11, when we were starting to apply and write our personal statements, I was torn between doing some form of engineering and doing economics. Well, my dad's done economics, so I know that it's actually a challenging degree. So I thought if I'm going to do something challenging, I might as well do something that I genuinely have an interest in. So that's why I picked automotive engineering.
Okay. What all universities did you apply for?
I applied to obviously Loughborough, then Leeds, Birmingham, Bath and Warwick.
Okay. And which universities you got an offer from?
So I got an offer from all of them, but then Loughborough was my first choice anyways. So.
Okay. All right. Nice. Why Loughborough?
So we actually have a really good program here. It's quite hands-on and we have great industry links. There were quite a few websites that rank universities. So a lot of them showed that for employability and industry links, Loughborough was ranked very highly. We were ranked above certain top best universities in the world. That's why I picked Loughborough.
Okay. You mentioned about industry links.
Yeah.
So do you have had experience of any?
Not yet. So after the Easter break, we go on this little trip called Myra, which is a track where they test cars, which is UK's national track, car testing track. So over there, I know we have links because Ford and JLR, so we get a Jaguar and a Ford car to test and collect data from.
Okay.
And other than that, quite a few Formula One teams visit campus quite often.
Okay.
So I've seen Red Bull and Aston Martin actually bring a car with them.
Okay.
And I've seen Mercedes come to careers fairs, and other than that, Bentley and Rolls-Royce have both come to campus, bought cars and just met students.
Okay.
And we also have a Rolls-Royce research center on campus.
Wow.
Where quite a few of my lecturers actually work.
Okay, right. So tell me more about the course. What all kind of modules do you study? Any project works that you're involved in?
So in first year, it was more general engineering, because first year was more about getting everyone on the same level. So we studied some maths. We studied maths throughout the year. So we started with some basic maths and some higher level maths. We did mechanics, elasticity, studied about forces and movement. And there were 2 modules. So one was vehicle design and development, which only lasted for the first semester. And that module was tested using a coursework where we had to, in theory, make a car and simulate results and write a report on it. And vehicle systems and design lasted the entire year.
Okay.
So we had an exam for it. It was actually very content heavy because we had to memorize a lot of things about how cars work and how very specific systems work. And we had a very interesting project where we had to make a self-navigating car that had to go around 4 poles. The only catch was it wasn't remote controlled. It was entirely mechanical, controlled by gears and motors. And the car also had to go up and down a ramp within exactly a minute.
Okay.
So that was the task, yeah.
Oh, was year 1 or 2?
This was first year.
Oh,
All of this was first year.
Right.
Yeah.
And what do you get in year 2?
So this year we have had a lot more car-specific modules. So we have this module called Advanced Powertrain Systems. We very specifically look at gearboxes, engines. We have vehicle loading and suspension. We look at loading and suspension. Other than that, we still have a few general modules. So there is control engineering based on how we control things, and that's all I can recall at the moment.
Okay, no, that's nice. So how's your classroom size like, and how much of seminars do you all have to attend? Is there any personal attention you can get?
So in automotive engineering, you can say there's about 100 students, and we share a lot of modules with aeronautical engineering. So right at the moment, I share 2 modules with aeronautical engineering. So in those 2 lectures, there'll be 200 students, but in auto-specific lectures, there'll be 100 students. Other than the lectures, we also have tutorial sessions where there'll be about 15-20 students where you sit and do work, and you can ask the lecturers, or you'll have PhD students there to help us. There you can get a bit more individual help.
And do you have lab experiences as well?
Yes, we do. So almost every module has a lab. So in first year, pretty much every module did have a lab, but those were more basic labs where it was pretty much just doing physics experiments and writing a report on them. And this year we're yet to have our labs, but one we did have was the wind tunnel lab, which was actually very interesting because we got to use a full-scale wind tunnel. And yeah, it's a world-class wind tunnel, so it was quite interesting to see how industry actually uses this and makes use of data and all.
So are these labs based in this area, this building, or?
So not this building, but on this side of the campus. So
Okay.
The west side of campus is entirely STEM based.
Okay.
And the further you go into West Park, we call it, it's just engineering.
Okay.
So yeah, it's all on this side of campus.
You mentioned you have a lot of big brands and Formula One companies visiting the campus. So what exactly do they do?
So sometimes they just come for meet and greets just to make sure that we know that they offer places, they offer placements. Sometimes they come for active recruitment, so they come for careers fairs and they tell us to, our deadlines are this, then and then, and they give us some advice. Sometimes they even look over your CV and tell you things to change.
So like I've been talking to a lot of banking and investment and trading, finance, economic students. So that specific industry has got deadlines of making job applications, and they have a routine pattern where they go for internships, convert that into a placement, and that convert them to full-time job. Do you have something specific here?
We have something similar where you see that Formula One teams start very early. So Formula One's teams start within the summer, their applications, and the more you progress. So we have applications throughout the year. So it starts with Formula One teams, then it'll go to big car brands, then it'll go to car brands that are more general. So let's say it starts with Formula One teams, then it'll go to some places like Rolls-Royce, Bentley, then it'll go to places like Nissan and Renault.
Okay.
And then it'll fall onto smaller companies that work on very specific things. So like I've applied to a company called YASA, which is owned by Mercedes, but they work with electric motors and electrotech for cars.
All right.
So you have things throughout the year. You just have to keep your eyes peeled.
And does your careers department help you all with any of this?
Yes, quite a bit. We only get prerequisite help. So they'll look at our CV, they'll help us with cover letters. Sometimes we get some jobs or placement opportunities that are specific to Loughborough students only. So companies will say we're recruiting 3 Loughborough students for so-and-so job. So that's actually quite nice to see.
Okay, and how do you get notified about these opportunities? Do you have like a portal where you get?
Yes, so you know how there's Indeed.com and stuff.
Yeah.
We have our own just for Loughborough students, which is called Target Connect. Over there you can find a lot of placement opportunities, graduate jobs, internships within and outside of university.
And you see a lot of opportunities coming in for your specific sector?
Quite a few.
Okay, that's nice. Tell me about I was just trying to compare the universities. Like you mentioned, you have Warwick, which again is not too far, but is also very known for engineering. So why did you choose Loughborough over Warwick when you had an option?
Warwick generally is known more as a university, whereas Loughborough started off as an engineering university.
Right.
So we have that pedigree that we started there and we're still here. And obviously great industry links that is very reassuring to see. And also just from meeting college counselors and stuff, they told me that Loughborough is actually ranked high. There's no official ranking, but they said the course here would be a bit better than there.
Did you study courses in all these universities,
Yeah.
the curriculum?
Yeah, I looked through all the modules they have, and not just at the start, just all years, and even masters and PhD prospects.
Right.
Loughborough just seemed the best for my course.
Okay. Tell me about, usually when it comes to automotive engineering, Germany is regarded as better destination compared to UK
Yeah.
or US.
Mhm.
And then you have the US as well.
Yeah.
So did you do enough research, or you had a bias for UK and that's why you chose UK?
So I did do my research, and the only issue with Germany was that for undergrad they only teach in German.
Okay.
So I was told by counselors that if I want to go to Germany, I should take a year off, study German, and go there. The only issue would be my German wouldn't be as polished, so I'd struggle a bit with very scientific lingo. That's why I chose to come to the UK, where I've been speaking English for so long, going to British school. So.
Mm-hmm.
And with the US, the same problem, that they don't teach automotive engineering for undergrad. They say do mechanical first, or any form, and then get a master's to specify. I've seen that Purdue University maybe has started this year, but then again, they've just started their program, so
quite new.
Exactly.
You don't want to be an experiment batch. Germans, I've heard some universities do teach in English as well, but
for undergrad.
For undergrad, but you think they might not be the best ones?
Yeah. I mean, there's also universities in the Netherlands, but then you don't have great industry links in Netherlands. So
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, that's great. If you were to go back in time and change anything at all, right, with regards to your course, your university selection, country selection, would you change anything?
No, I would choose to be exactly where I am.
Okay.
I would only choose to expect it to be a bit harder than I initially thought it was.
Okay. So you think it's easy for you?
No, it is challenging.
It is challenging.
It's more challenging than I thought it would be.
Okay.
We just don't realize it at start.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you able to spend enough time doing extracurricular activities and other things, or your course is very intense?
It is intense. We have one of the higher number of lectures in the week. So when I look at my timetable and show my friends that, oh, look, I'm in lectures for like 24, 25 hours a week, their jaws drop. But, if you are able to manage your time, it is quite easy to do extracurriculars outside of that.
So you have more lecture timing and less of self-study, or?
We have more lecture times and an equal amount of self-study.
Right. Okay. Any part-time job you've taken, or any internships you?
No, I've been applying to internships. So I've applied for a research assistant position in university over the summer. No part-time jobs. So there's not much time to part.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Any message you'd like to give students applying for your particular course coming to UK?
One, just don't expect it to be easy, because it really won't be. But then don't be disheartened because it's hard, because it's hard for everyone. Everyone is struggling as much as you are.
Right.
That's all.
A lot of engineering courses globally are 4 years, and it is said that even 4 years is less, especially in automotive sector. And like AI and in computers, even automotive is going through a rigorous change with AI elements coming into it. So any reflection of that have you seen in your course?
Well, yeah, we're taught about coding in computers as well. And we also learn about electric cars, hybrid cars. We learn about all sorts of things. And the course actually goes through a self-correcting process where they actually change the course each year to update it as much as possible, keep up to date, so that they keep up with the industry as much as possible. And they also really factor in student feedback. So I'm a course rep for my cohort.
Okay.
It's my job to take feedback and go to the department and suggest changes. They really do take it into account and really do try to make it as a bit easier for us. So I do see that my juniors this year, they have had good changes made on their course that we wish we had, but life's life. Yeah.
Right. Okay, going back to when you chose Loughborough, like what helped you crack this university? Was it just your academics, or were you engaged in some additional extracurriculars?
I had quite a few extracurriculars under my belt, but Loughborough doesn't have really high entrance requirements.
What was it on your
So for me, it was 36 IB points, about 37. So it really wasn't, even 36 IB points isn't not that hard. But that was also the case for all the universities I applied to. So Leeds, Bath, Birmingham, and Warwick all had similar entrance requirements. Yeah, I mean, I did have extracurriculars, but I don't think I really needed them as much as I thought I did.
Did you put any of those in your personal statement?
Yeah, I put all of those in my personal statement.
Can you throw light on some?
My school did things a bit differently. So we had this thing called leader of learning, where you basically act as a tutor. You teach a student or a peer a subject that they're struggling with. So that I did that a bit early on. Then we had just introduced societies to our school.
Mm-hmm.
And to oversee the proper functioning of societies, they made a committee, and I was part of the first committee. So, we wrote the guidelines, we came up with rules, we saw, the first 5 societies being put up and run at school.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one really big thing that I still keep on my CV today, because, that's something that has outlived me in school. It still exists, it's still running, it's still well and healthy. And other than that, I did sports and yeah.
Okay. That's nice. What's your perspective on the fully self-driven cars and the AI element that is, enabled?
To be honest, no one on my course would really like fully self-driving cars, because part of having a car is the driving experience. But again, it is at a very initial stage. And we still see things going wrong with autonomous cars, where they're unable to make decisions, they're unable to predict human behavior. Where humans are unable to predict human behavior, how do you expect a machine to? Exactly. So we're not too worried about that at the moment, because we're still in very, very initial stages. Yeah, I don't really think that it would.
You have companies that have already rolled things out after a lot of R&D, and I'm sure the research comes out of such universities.
But those cars are less autonomous, more self-navigating.
Mm-hmm.
They can keep themselves going in a straight road. They can make a certain turn.
Mm-hmm.
But accounting for pedestrians and other cars and their placement and parked cars, at one point it might just get too much for a computer to handle.
Right.
At this stage, at least.
Right. So would your course maybe in year 3 or somewhere have those elements?
It might delve into autonomous driving, yes.
Okay. Great. Anyways. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure to have you. And thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. Automotive engineering, Loughborough University, and everything around it. Right. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for listening to the Student Spotlight. We hope you found today's discussion valuable. If you liked what you heard, be sure to subscribe and share it with your friends. We'll be back soon with some more stories and insights. Until then, continue learning and growing. See you in the next episode.